Hi, everyone. This is Joanne, and welcome to the Talks with Joe podcast. I have a special guest with me today, and I believe she's so knowledgeable on so many things. I specifically want to talk to you today about quantum healing and quantum deep work. I, for one, don't know anything about it. So, can you tell us like what it is and why it's beneficial?
Oh, this is like my favorite topic. Because it's just such a world that we're not trained and taught about in this culture. And quantum work is when we're sort of stepping out of the ego
Mhm.
and we're utilizing in the mind, body, spirit, mind, body, soul trio, those three attributes that make the whole. So in certain religions, it might be Father, Son, Holy Ghost, or the physical body, the mind, and the biofield. Well, this energy force has been ignored in our culture for so long, and yet it holds all the master data to who we are.
Hmm.
So one of my gifts is that I can step into someone's biofield and see it. So as it's sort of like when you have um, a doctor taking a telescope into the body to figure out what's going on, or you get an MRI imaging, I can go in and see the whole grid that surrounds the body, the invisible parts, and see where there's like some wonky stuff. And then to go in and like, where are the viruses? Where's some stuck energy? Why is this here when this belongs from an event that occurred 50 years ago? And we can go in and we can clear it out of the body, because what we don't realize is when we start adding these invisible things up, they
Mhm.
carry their own weight from emotional issues, and the physical is the manifestation of the emotional.
Yes, yes. I have personal experience with that and everything, especially like learning about all my chakras. And I personally have like issues with my throat chakra not being able to speak. So there was this one time around like over a year ago when I was getting out of my breakup. Apparently, I was losing my voice towards the end of that breakup. Like literally, I could not speak. I was just coughing all the time and I literally lost my voice because I wasn't using it. So I know exactly what you mean. That's so crazy.
And so there's two different ways we can do it. We can do it two different ways. I do it. There's many ways to do it. Two different ways I do it is, one is the person is consciously aware and standing in front of me and I'm scanning, similar to how you might do a physical exam.
Hmm.
Um, or the other is in a somnambulistic state where we take the person into a hypnotic like state. It's still fully conscious, or still having conversation, but the person is so relaxed that we're bypassing the ego and the amygdala, and we're going under and we're speaking just to the soul.
Wow. So it's kind of like hypnotherapy where you're talking to the subconscious. Is that similar?
It's similar, but instead of talking to the subconscious mind, we're switching drivers completely. We're taking the mind out of the driver's seat of that vehicle, putting it in the passenger seat, and we're letting the spirit, the energy force, speak so exclusively on behalf
Hmm.
of everyone in the car.
Wow. Dang. Going back to like the deep quantum work, like I was looking on your website, there's like different types like QHHT, QHND, QE. Like what does it all mean?
So, quantum healing hypnosis technique was created by Dolores Cannon, who has since passed away, but um, a huge foundation for the work I do. I read every book I can get of hers, because she was one of the founding creators of this concept. So it was a gift that came to her. She was a hypnotherapist, and she
Mm.
started to find that people were recalling information that was outside of their timeline. And so, and there's a lot of hypnotherapists that have this gift as well. Brian Weiss, a lot of hypnotherapists from the 70s and 80s were starting to see people that had things that were beyond this lifetime. And so quantum healing hypnosis technique is a specific technique to journey someone through that hypnotic state into the somnambulistic sleepwalking state, so that the mind switches out of the driver's seat and the soul comes in and speaks. And the soul will
Mhm.
speak in terms of we. Like we we want Annie to be healthier. We, speaking on behalf of the greatest good for all of the attributes.
Yeah.
And then when we look at quantum empowerment, the QE program, that's something that I developed because my natural energy is a high vibration. And so QHHT, I have to relax my vibrational wave
Mm-hmm.
to do QHHT, but QE, we go in, it's the similar road, but it has a different result. And that's where we can like really boost up someone's spiritual gifts. So if someone has the gift of intuition, when we do a QE session, it's cranking it up. It's opening up that window and letting all that energy really go at full speed, full throttle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang, this is so interesting. So like going back to how you mentioned that there's periods beyond this, life, I guess like for the soul specifically. So that can relate a lot to like past lives, right? Like where we've been before and some healing that needs to be done in maybe in the past life that we brought onto this life.
Yeah, if we look at time as being linear, it would be a past life. So,
Mhm.
so our culture would refer to it as past life. What it is another lifetime.
Mhm.
And we talk in terms of, oh, we carried it forward from another lifetime, but really time is not linear at the quantum level. It's simultaneous.
Oh my God.
So if so, and this is going to get complex, and if we are able to exist in multiple places at multiple times, and we get shot in another place, another dimension per se, we might develop an injury where the other facet of us experienced it. It
Whoa,
doesn't belong to us, but when we come up the layers, we reunite to the whole. We're just an attribute of our whole.
mhm.
So yeah, when we go through, we can clear out, like people have phantom leg pains that have no, or an absolute fear of being in ocean water with no story behind it.
Yeah.
Someone, I worked with someone who afraid of being underwater, and we go through the journey and we find that in another experience, they had been shot by their friends in a boat and fell over the water and drowned. So their fear of being in the water was recalling that that physiological response
Oh my gosh.
to an event that didn't occur in this lifetime.
This is so wild. So like saying that time is not linear, so we can't need the term past life. It's just like, okay, yes, that exists, but that was a different lifetime. So if time doesn't exist, like time is not linear, that's mean our future selves, somewhere in the future, it exists in the
Yeah.
same plane as now.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Which
mind blown.
mind blowing, right? Mind blowing. But if you understand that, if you can understand that, that means that it's so much easier to go back and heal your inner child, and so much easier to go to your future self for mentorship.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So,
Like, think
yeah.
about how cool it would be if you could go to your future self and say, hey, what should I know right now? What should I learn about right now that would help us in this timeline? And then you'll find that information on topics you weren't seeking find their way to you.
So it's like meeting halfway with your future self. Like, how can I get to where you are?
And if you knew what you went through in the past, can you go back and help yourself?
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Like say something happened. So like very much Back to the Future, right? Do you remember Back to the Future, the movie?
Yes, I love that movie.
Right. And you know how is it the end of the, I forget which one it is, where he comes back and Michael J. Fox's character thought that Doc was going to die because it was going to come back and they were going to shoot Doc in the
Yes,
parking lot,
yes, I remember
and
that.
he has the bulletproof vest.
Yes.
So the he altered the future and the past at the same time.
Oh my gosh. I'm like getting goosebumps
Goosebumps,
right now.
right?
It's
Right?
it's so wild. Yeah, so like if us now, if we know that the past and the future exist on the same plane, we could pretty much manifest what we want. Like it's easier for us to get there. Or
Way
I'm
easier.
yeah.
Way easier. Yes. Yes.
Oh my gosh.